the order of service for a family-style meal. During family-style meals, guests share platters of food from a set menu. Guests help themselves to platters and pass food around the table, just like they would at home. Serving and passing food around the table encourages an atmosphere of sharing and togetherness. Creating this atmosphere requires a style of service that involves careful coordination. In order to do this, you must know how to adapt your service for family-style meals and follow the procedures for family-style meals. Because guests serve themselves, you'll need to adapt your service for family-style meals. Family-style meals change your role as a server. You'll still bring the guests' food to the table, but they'll serve themselves. All courses can be served in the family style. However, event planners may decide to have just one course served this way. Family-style meals are served using platters and bowls, which are passed around before being placed at the center of the table. So it's important that the dining tables are set with enough space at the center for the food items to be placed once service begins. During service, you'll present guests with new plates between courses, and you'll clear used items after each course. It's also your opportunity to ensure beverages are refilled and to replenish bread. Now that you know how to adapt your service style to make guests feel at home, let's discuss how to follow the procedures for family-style meals. When service starts, seat your guests and welcome them warmly. Introduce yourself and explain how their meals will be served throughout service. For example, you'll need to explain to guests that platters will be passed around the table in an anti-clockwise direction. If wine has been arranged as part of the meal, you may begin wine service. Bottles can be left on the table once the wine has been poured. Present guests with the appropriate plate before each course is served. Depending on your region, you'll serve guests the correct plate either from their left or right-hand side. It's your responsibility to know your hotel's standards. If the first course is being served in the family style, place the correct plate in front of the guest. Once the guests have finished the first course, you may clear their plates. Before the next course is served, place a warm entree plate at each setting. Now, bring the platters or bowls of food to the table with their appropriate serving utensil and hand them to a guest from the appropriate side. To ensure a more efficient flow of service, stagger the platters you hand to guests. Wait for the guests to pass the platter along after serving themselves. Pay careful attention to guests when they're helping themselves to food. Keep track of bowls and platters until they reach the last guest. Once the last guest has finished serving food, place it in the center of the table. Guests can help themselves to more as they wish. Depending on how many people are at the table, there may be more than one platter or bowl of the same item being passed around at one time. You must only remove platters if they're empty, or if you receive visual cues from the guest that they're ready for the next course. Once guests have finished their entree, clear all the plates, including those used for bread. Clear the platters, flatware, and the salt and pepper shakers. Next, set the table for coffee service before serving dessert. You may set warm cups depending on the standard at your hotel. Finally, follow the same procedure for serving the dessert as you did for the previous course. As you've seen, family-style meal service requires careful coordination. Between setting up for each course and delivering food to the table, you need to own your role as a server so you can provide guests with everything they need to feel as comfortable as they would at their own dining table.